All right, today we are cracking open a story that was literally buried for nearly 2,000 years. It's a text that takes everything we think we know about creation and flips it completely upside down.
So, picture this. It's 1945. In the middle of the Egyptian desert, near a place called Nag Hammadi, someone finds a sealed jar. And inside, a whole library of books that have been hidden for 1,700 years. Books that were systematically hunted down and destroyed by early Orthodox Christianity. These were the lost gospels of a religion of rebels. And their most important text, the Secret Book of John, kicks things off with a pretty wild question. What if the God you were taught to worship, the creator of heaven and earth, was actually an imposter? Yeah, this is the radical idea at the very heart of this story.
So what exactly is this rebel gospel? What made it so dangerous that it had to be buried in the desert for centuries?
This is the foundational myth for a group we call the Gnostics. And their whole way of seeing the world is built around one single Greek word. If you can understand this one word, you unlock the whole text. And that word is gnosis. It means knowledge. But we're not talking about book smarts here. We're talking about a direct, personal, explosive moment of realization. The realization of your own divine nature. See, for the Gnostics, you don't get saved by believing in something. You get saved by knowing something. That you, right now, are a lost spark of the divine. So, to understand how we got so lost in the first place, the Gnostics tell us we have to go back, way back before the beginning, to explore the inner landscape of the divine mind itself, a place they called the Pleroma. Before anything was anything, there was just the one, pure, perfect, unknowable consciousness. And when this one thinks about itself, its own mind kind of emanates out from it. This perfect, harmonious mental universe is called the Pleroma, which just means the fullness. It's not a physical place, it's the actual internal architecture of the divine mind. And what you're seeing here is basically the Gnostics' attempt to map that mind. The first big structure to emerge is what they call the sun, or autogenous, which means self-generated. But notice, it's not a person. It's a collection of concepts, mind, word, and will, the very building blocks of consciousness. And from there, it just keeps unfolding, getting more and more complex. New realms emerge, each like a perfect, intricate mandala of divine qualities. You see things like truth, perception, and way down there at the edge, wisdom. This whole thing is one single, interconnected, perfect mind. Everything working in perfect harmony. Until it doesn't. And this is where it all goes wrong. This is the crisis point. The one single thought that literally breaks reality. Sophia, which is Greek for wisdom, that divine quality at the very edge of the Pleroma, makes a huge mistake. She acts alone. Without her divine partner, without the permission of the whole, she tries to create something all by herself. And that breaks the number one rule of the Pleroma, unity. The result of this rogue thought isn't some perfect, beautiful creation. Oh no, it's a disaster. It's an abortion, a monster. She gives birth to a being called Yaldabaoth, and this perfectly shows how the Gnostics saw evil. Yaldabaoth isn't the opposite of God, he's more like a botched photocopy. Where the true God is pure light, he's just arrogant fire. Where the one is infinite and self-aware, Yaldabaoth is ignorant and limited. And worst of all, he's totally blind to where he came from. He thinks he's the only God there is. So, you've got this blind, arrogant, second-rate God. What's the first thing he does? He starts creating a universe in his own flawed image. Our universe. Yaldabaoth uses the power that he basically stole from his mother, Sophia, and he cobbles together this material world. But it's just a cheap knockoff, a clumsy imitation of the perfect Pleroma that he can only barely even perceive. This physical world, to the Gnostics, it's a prison, ruled by his demonic cronies, the planets and the stars. And then he says something that might sound familiar. For the Gnostics, this was the smoking gun. They identified Yaldabaoth directly with the creator God of the Old Testament. To them, this wasn't some grand statement of divine truth. It was the pathetic, arrogant boast of a blind fool who has no idea that a much greater, much truer God exists above him. But okay, it's not all doom and gloom. The story doesn't end in this cosmic prison. The true God, the Pleroma, has a rescue plan. And guess who's at the center of it? We are.
So how does this divine rescue mission work? Well, it's actually a really brilliant plan. First, the divine realm shows an image of the perfect human to Yaldabaoth. He gets jealous and tries to copy it, creating the body of Adam, but it's just a lifeless shell. So then, the Pleroma tricks him. They convince him to breathe his stolen power, that divine spark from Sophia, into his new creation. And with that one breath, humanity secretly becomes a vessel for the divine. And finally, the Pleroma sends out a helper, a kind of insight, to wake us up from the inside.
And this is really the key to the whole thing. You can almost think of Gnosticism as a kind of cosmic psychoanalysis. The myth isn't just from story to be believed, it's a map for our own inner world. The idea is that by understanding the original trauma, Sophia's mistake, the fall into matter, we can start to reverse it. Our own personal awakening isn't just for us. It's part of a grand plan to heal the fractured mind of God itself.
Which brings us to the most radical, powerful idea in all of Gnosticism. It's not about waiting for a savior to come rescue you. In this story, you are the key. You must save yourself, and by remembering your true divine origin, you actually participate in saving the entire cosmos.
It's a profound idea, right? It shifts all the responsibility onto you, not as some heavy burden, but as this incredible form of empowerment. For the Gnostics, this ancient story isn't just mythology, it's a psychological blueprint. The journey inward to find that divine spark is how we heal our own sense of being disconnected, and in doing that, we help heal the cosmos. So the question they leave us with isn't just metaphysical, it's deeply personal. What if the key to saving the universe is already hidden inside you?